afternoon, students. It is very pleasant morning today. I am very happy to talk to you about nationalism. A few days ago, the nation woke up and it is shocked and surprised to find that 20 of Indian soldiers have been massacred by the Chinese army. Definitely it is a terrifying. The news spread like a wildfire. Why? It is the patriotism towards the nationalism. Some 5 years ago, it was Dhoni's army versus Sri Lankan army. India were in the finals. Every Indian citizen had been sitting in front of the television. They were very anxious. And finally, Dhoni hit the sixer. Our Indians felt as if they have hit a sixer. This is nationalism. So these are all some of the examples of nationalism that we take patriotic fervor towards India. The same patriotism, the same spirit of patriotism and nationalism been widely seen during pre-independence day. So people developed a great fascination, a great attraction, and they were patriotic. The atmosphere was so electrifying. Our nationalism has been brought forward by great national leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Mahakavi Bharati, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, etc. They were stalwarts in their own era. But till Mahatma Gandhi appeared on the scene, the mood was entirely different. People believed that India can. Just like our Indian army had driven away the Chinese army of today, Indian people had driven away the British people. It is because of the nationalism. And it is interesting to see that nationalism has got its own reward. And particularly this lesson focuses upon how our nationalistic movement had been forming, developed, strengthened, and finally got its fruition. Let us see a few important and interesting events in nationalism. Let us get into the action. Nationalism is a loyalty and devotion to a nation. In England, one poet said, there is no land like England. So that is nationalism. எங்கள் தந்தையர் நாடு என்ற பேச்சினிலே ஒரு சக்தி பிறக்குது மூச்சினிலே. It was said by Mahakavi Bharati. In this chapter, we are going to discuss the development of nationalism from the year 1920, which includes non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movements. And we are going to learn how different social groups participated in the movement. My dear students, without social groups participation, no movement can be successful, and India's participation is bearing a great testimony for how it has been marching. Mahatma Gandhi says, between nationalism and imperialism, there is no meeting ground. They are like two different poles. They are poles apart. You see, we know very well India was under British rule. World War broke out in the year 1914. And the British people went on putting so many taxes. And this is during that time income tax was introduced and the customs duties were increased multifold. So people have been suffering And adding to that, adding worry, whereas the crops failed in many parts of India, and this disturbed our nation depended heavily upon agricultural income, and 80% of the farmers suffered a lot. And the World War, the hardship is caused not only to the governments but also to the common man. He had to pay extra every time when he went to the market. So there was a sense of pessimism all around. People had been thinking about negativity, and hardship would end after the World War was over, but it was not so. So many problems increased. And you see some of the picture images. Crop failed, and the world has been under war for 5 years, and this has been going on, and people lost the income, and many of them have lost their family members, etc. The breadwinners were killed in the World War, and knowingly or unknowingly, India had been put up into hardship. You see, Mahatma Gandhi thought about Satyagraha. My dear students, I would like to tell you that Satyagraha was experienced by Mahatma Gandhi while he was in South Africa. I would like to tell you, Satyagraha, the idea was learned by Mahatma Gandhi from Tamil Nadu only. This is interesting. Mahatma Gandhi, throughout his life, he never spoke lie. Mahatma Gandhi in his life, he took Satyagraha in his hands, and both messages he received from Tamil Nadu only. After seeing Harichandra Purana, he vowed, he has taken a resolution not to speak lies. And this Satyagraha movement he learned from Prakalada and Saint Tirunavukkarasar of 7th century, who fought against a great empire, that is a Pallava empire, and he was the first Satyagrahi of Tamil Nadu. So these two messages have been taken by Mahatma Gandhi from Tamil Nadu. So he is indebted to Tamil Nadu. And this is a way of life. This is both a philosophy as well as a strategy. Because whenever you will have to fight for injustice, there is a word in English, my dear students, this is called indignation. Indignation. Indignation means anger against injustice. Mahatma Gandhi had this injustice, came back to India in the year 1915, and he introduced the concept in his stay in South Africa, where in South Africa he was humiliated so many times, but he was a great souvenir of Satyagraha there. The Satyagraha was new to the world, but for the people of Tamil Nadu, Saint Tirunavukkarasar practiced it, and he made several Satyagrahas in India, and mainly speaking in the year 1916, the year 1918. So my dear students, we can proudly say that 1915 is a landmark year in which Mahatma Gandhi came back to India. You see Satyagraha, you see different movements in which people have been following, and Satyagraha does not depend on outside help. It derives all its strength from within. And I can also tell you that in your house you can find that your mothers, the homemakers, they are following the Satyagraha. Whenever they need something from their husband, that is from your father, they make a Satyagraha and get things done. And Rowlatt Act is a very terrific act. It's a brutal act. The Act authorized the British officers to imprison any Indian political leaders for 2 years without any trial. This is worst of all crimes. Everyone should be given an opportunity to represent himself before the court, before the law of justice. But what has happened, my dear students, that no one can question. This has been very beautifully said in Tamil Nadu. Im endral Sarivasam, yen endral Vanavasam. And Mahatma Gandhi came out with the revolt Satyagraha. He wanted to take away revolts, Satyagraha. So there was a great upheaval in the country against the Rowlatt Act in the year 1919. Shops were closed down, rallies were organized, people went on strikes. People, they don't want to yield to the British Empire. So Satyagraha and British government imposed the martial law. They will put General Dyer to command. On the day of 13th April 1919, Bakshi Fair was organized in Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. My dear students, still my heart is trembling, my blood is boiling at the brutal act that General Dyer ordered to close all exit gates. He opened fire. He opened fire on the innocent people. He opened fire on all the people. And hundreds of Indians have died, and Indians started to attack the government buildings. The violence forced to stop the movement. And here I would like to tell you that one of the brave sons of Punjab lost their lives, and he has got a very small boy child. His mother had grown him. You see the terrific face of General Dyer, terrific face. That Punjabi lady had developed the boy. He became a lad. He went to England at the age of 19 and he killed Dyer. He killed Dyer, and Punjab revenged. Punjab felt revenged. So, Gandhi, another movement is called the Non-Cooperation movement. This non-cooperation movement is well known to the students. Whenever teacher gives an assignment, they are non-cooperation. They will come back with the empty hand saying that we had no time. This is non-cooperation. You appear for the test, non-cooperation movement. So I think students are Gandhians in the sense that they are following non-cooperation movement as far as academic activities are concerned. It should not be. Gandhiji wrote a book, in Swaraj, in which he wrote that if Indians started to non-cooperate, then India will be independent in 1 year. And Gandhiji brought both Indians and Muslims together. Further, the movement was renamed as Non-Cooperation Khilafat Movement. This movement is called a Non-Cooperation Khilafat Movement, my dear students. You see, in the photo prints of Mahatma Gandhi's book, in Swaraj. This Khilafat, launched by Mahatma Gandhi, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. So that is why Khilafat, launched in the year 1921. Many social groups participated, and they are the torchbearers of this grand movement. And you see the moment, thousands of students left government schools, headmasters and teachers resigned, lawyers gave up their legal practices, foreign goods were boycotted, foreign clothes were burnt in huge bonfires, and many of Indian leaders have given up their sir title. One of them is Rabindranath Tagore. He gave up his sir title. And slowdown of the movement in towns. Khadi was expensive, lack of Indian institutions. When people rebellion in countryside, peasants had to beggar work at landlord's farms without any payment. Baba Ramachandra and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru set up Wood Kisan Sabhas. They demanded the abolition of the beggar system. Many people misinterpreted the ideas of Gandhi, and this is an internal issue. which has been utilized by the local jamindaris and local landlords. And Swaraj in plantation, the government had passed the Inland Immigration Acts, under which plantation workers were not permitted to leave the fields. So this is one of the important laws that wanted to crush the people of India. Workers interpreted the Gandhi Raj. They violated that. Workers interpreted the Gandhi Raj, which is a Ram Raj, and they violated the acts. They violated means they refused to obey. Hence, they were beaten by the police. 1922, February, Gandhi for some reasons withdrew. This moment, he decided to train Indians before any other mass struggle, so he withdrew. Civil disobedience movement. And some of the leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak and others given an idea that we will have to fight the Britishers from within. These things. Swaraj Party was formed by Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru, he was the father of Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose pressed for more radical agitation. That is, they want to intensify the strike. And Simon Commission visited 1927, and that Simon Commission was boycotted by the Congress Party because there are no Indian representatives. And the Great Economic Depression of 1929, people protesting during Great Economic Depression. My dear students, while you are reading economics, you may come across at the gap of 10 years or 15 years, you can find the depressions will be happening in economics as a cycle. And the Simon Commission, I told you, no India as the why Simon Commission was boycotted. India boycotted as there were no Indian members in it. Moreover, there was no indication of Swaraj, which was the first priority of the Indians. Since it has deleted the main expectation of India, that is Swaraj, the Simon Commission was not approved, not accepted by the Indians. And he is Sir John Simon from England, Simon Commission on the protesters. The protesters against Simon Commission, they carry a slogan, Simon, go back. Great Depression. The depression had a deep impact on the agricultural and industrial goods. Poverty increased by 1930 due to high taxes. So famine and high taxes. Okay. You see, civil disobedience. They will ask 3 more questions on this. Civil disobedience is the active professed refusal to buy certain laws, demands and commands of a government or of an occupying international power. Civil disobedience is a symbolic or ritualistic violation of the law rather than rejection of the system as a whole. Light please. Light. So Mahatma Gandhi on two occasions, Mahatma Gandhi on 2 aspects, he is against British Raj, and he particularly said that why they want to boycott law. He gives a beautiful quotation. First thing is, there is no law sacred than your conscience. மனசாட்சியை விட உயர்ந்த சட்டம் உலகத்தில் கிடையாது. There is no law sacred than conscience. This has been told by Fisher in Mahatma Gandhi's biography. And you see, salt march, the salt is the greatest thing, and it is the weapon of Mahatma Gandhi, because each and every house in every nation, in every country, in every part of the land, they must use salt. No salt, no hope. So having understood the importance of salt with the common man as well as the rich, Mahatma Gandhi, it is a powerful symbol to unite the whole nation. It is a powerful symbol to unite the whole nation because everybody is using salt. Everybody is using milk. So most of the people, including the British, scoped the idea, and abolition of salt tax was among many demands which were raised by Gandhi through a letter to then Viceroy Irwin. The Salt March or Dandi March was started by Gandhi on 12th March 1930. You see, this day, 12th March is very important because at the time when Mahatma Gandhi started this movement, only 14 or 15 people were following Mahatma Gandhi. 17 people have been following Mahatma Gandhi, but once he reached the sea, there were a lot of people, hundreds and thousands of people were following Mahatma Gandhi. This united India. And 78 volunteers, they walked for 24 days to a distance of 240 miles from Sabarmati to Dandi. Dandi is a seashore. And the Salt March marked the beginning of civil disobedient movement. And the salt laws were broken by the people, and foreign clothes were boycotted. Instead, people going for Sudesi dress, etc. Peasants refused to pay revenue. Village officials resigned. Tribal people violated forest laws. So there is all-round chaos. But there is one unity, that is all the people of India, they belonging to different status, section, they united together. And day by day the struggle has been intensified. You see how it's a great moment. We should not forget. This is one of the greatest moments in history. And the British, even women and children were beaten up. About 1 lakh people were arrested. You please see that 1 lakh people were arrested by the draconian law of British people. But neither Mahatma nor Jawaharlal Nehru, none of the Indians were moved even inch. And round table conference, when things began to take a violent turn, Mahatma Gandhi called up the moment. He signed a pact with Irwin on 15th. This was called a Gandhi-Irwin Pact. My dear students, please remember 5th March 1931, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. As per the fact, Gandhi agreed to participate in the round table conference in London. In lieu of that, government agreed to release the political prisoners. You see, what are the outcome of Gandhi-Irwin Pact? 15th March 1931. Number one, the agreement has been signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Irwin, and Gandhi agreed to participate in the round table conference. Government has accepted to release the political prisoners. Gandhi went to London in December 1931. The negotiations broke down and Gandhi had to return with the disappointment. The people, Gandhi was not accepted by the British people. And the interesting thing is, Gandhi went in his regular dress. You know, Gandhi's dress, you know very well. He went in that ducks. So the English people thought, and even Winston Churchill called Mahatma Gandhi as a half-naked Paki. When Gandhi came back to India, he found that most of the leaders were put in jail as contrary to the expectations. Breaking the spirit of the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, that the British people put so many Indians, so many patriots into jail. And Mahatma Gandhi, once again, he had to relaunch the civil disobedience movement. By 1930, the movement had lost its momentum. See, the round table conference. You see, other people are in coats, but Mahatma Gandhi in his Indian dress. farmers, the revenue rates, and when the movement was relaunched, many of the people refused to take part in 1932 movement because they lost the faith. And people, neither the farmers nor the businessmen, it did not satisfy the expectations of all sects of the society. Instead, it has given the people a torture. Instead, it given the people the continuing of the hardship. That is why, and the peoples are not in favor of this movement. Industrial workers also. Women's participation. Women also participate in the civil disobedience movement in large numbers. However, most of the women were from high caste families in the urban areas and from rich peasant households in the rural areas. So you see that high caste families and rich peasants, and there is no representation from the poor people, no representation from the low class people. That is why the women's could participate only in limited numbers. And participation of Dalits, many Dalit leaders wanted different political solutions to the problems of Dalit community because they have got their own problems. The Dalit people had their own problems, and they were represented by their great champion, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. means Bhima Rao Ambedkar organized the Dalits into depressed class association. He clashed with Mahatma Gandhi during the second roundtable conference on the issue of separate electorate for Dalits. B.R. Ambedkar had the opinion that only Dalits are given great representation in voting power, the Dalit society can get a rise. So he fought with Mahatma Gandhi. Even though he fought with Mahatma Gandhi, it is only a political difference. It is only ideological difference and no personal difference. And you see the participation of Muslims and civil disobedience movement has got its own repercussions as far as Muslims are concerned, and the Muslims became alienated from Congress, and that is why that led to the growth of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The sense of collective belonging. Nationalism spreads and people began to believe that they are all part of the same nation when they discover the same unity that binds them together. When nationalism will be effective? Only when people think they are same. That same idea will unite them. But women of rural areas and Muslims, which are having more than 2%, 2 crores population, and other people, some of them depressed, particularly saying that the 18% of the Dalit population, they were all working in different directions. So nationalism is lacking. So the image of Bharat Mata was a pictorial representation of motherland. And you see Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram means respecting the mother. Vande Mataram, the national song, was written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyaya in 1870s. That gained momentum now. This was sung during the Swadeshi movement in Bengal. Different artists projected their own verse of Bharat Mata. This is the picture, ideal picture of Bharat Mata. We can find the Bharat Mata is near a line. That means that symbolizes that Mahishasura Mardini or Durga, whatever we call, because it has got its origin from West Bengal, and the people they used to give importance for Durga Puja. They give Durga Puja. And folklores. Many nationalist leaders took help of folk tales to spread the idea of nationalism. It was believed that folk tales revealed the true picture of traditional culture, and this is one of the strategies adopted. And what they failed to realize, they have not taken our epics, Mahabharata and Ramayana, to the people in a national level. Had it done so, and the effect would have been different. And this is not any book reference, it is my personal opinion. National flag. So every nation needs separate identity. Having identified Bharat Mata, we need a national flag. We need a national symbol. Just like the companies are having their brand, just like the companies are having their logo, just like the companies are having their tagline. And India badly in need of a national flag, and they want to through. It is not the national flag we are hoisting now is not what it was at the beginning. It was used by different stages. There was crescent moon on the flag which represented Hindus and Muslims. Gandhi has designed the Swaraj flag by 1921. It was also tricolor, red, green and white, and there was spinning wheel in the center. You see, the red represents the sacrifice, and the green represents revolution, green revolution, and white peace. Then we can also represent in some other way that red is saffron, representing Hindus, green represents Muslims, and white represents Christians. All of them are together. You see how beautifully our national flag. Just like the English poet who said that there is no land like England. There is no land like India. And you see, British had given a different interpretation of the Indian history, and even now it has been felt. In the year 1918 and the year 1835, Lord Macaulay was addressing the Parliament. That time he said that I travelled far and wide among Indian streets, Indian villages. I cannot find any beggars. I cannot find that any people are stealing from others. So the people are very great. If we want to put them under our control forever, we will have to disturb their education, and we will have to give our own education which produces only the clerks, etc. So that was our plan. Is not only the physical union of the states, but the mental unity of the people of India. We are for other. We are the brothers and sisters of the same family. And my dear students, let us hope. And you see that when 20 of Indian soldiers have been massacred, the entire nation woke up. It should not be like that. Every day we will have to develop the spirit of patriotism, and that patriotism alone can help us to achieve this nationalism. That is why Bhagat Singh, that is why Mahatma Gandhi, that is why Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, all the great people came. And Mahatma Gandhi was able to influence Nelson Mandela, who was in prison for 27 years. And Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther King said, I had a dream, like that. So even today, from that day onwards, India, my dear students, I would like to tell you that GDP of India before the arrival of British Empire was 25. It was fantastic, it was great, it was unachievable. So Indians were very strong only because of this patriotism, because of this nationalism. We can achieve the dreams and goals of our ancestors. Jai Hind.